Welcome back, guys. This is Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. I am no stranger to Bowflex products. This is probably my 10th Bowflex product that I have done in-depth research and in-depth testing on. Now, when I was younger, a child of the 90s, I would see commercials pop up for things like the Bowflex Power Pro or the Bowflex Tread Climber. Bowflex has come a long way since then, and they have actually included a ton of cardio options, much more than when I was a child. Today, we are going to talk about the Bowflex T16. This is a $1,899 treadmill, one that I think is actually a very good option and very similar or comparable to something like the Soul F80 or even the NordicTrack 1750. We're going to talk about the programming that this offers, this screen size, how does it actually feel while you are running on it, and then make a couple comparisons. But first, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Also, if you want to go ahead and purchase this, we have made it super easy and place the link below the like button. When you use that link, it does not cost you anything extra. And lastly, this was sent to us by the company. However, this is always an honest and transparent review. Okay, so when you go ahead and you purchase this, you will actually have access to 2 months free of the Journey programming for new members. If you want to go ahead and not do the Journey programming after you purchase it, you can go ahead, easily cancel that subscription. And then on the treadmill itself, it still has 12 different preset programming options. They're actually really good preset programming options, as well as their Sprint 8 programming, which is fantastic. This comes with a 16-inch HD touchscreen. Now, it doesn't swivel, but however, even though it doesn't swivel, that you see with something like an Averon or a NordicTrack, while you are running on it, even if you are running at higher speeds, you don't have hardly any screen shake, which is something that I always appreciate. Not only that, but the screen is ultra responsive. It has crystal clear imagery. It has crystal clear coloring. I mean, all in all, it is easy to navigate. It is very well laid out. Along with the touchscreen, not only are you going to get the preset programmings, as well as if you go ahead and subscribe to the Journey programming, you'll have access to that as well. But this actually connects to different apps. So you have like your weather app or your Spotify, Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, and a ton of other apps that you can go ahead and download. Watch those, listen to those, read, whatever you want to do while you're using that treadmill. The treadmill also will connect through Bluetooth to either your Apple Watch or your Galaxy Watch. This is a really cool feature that I haven't seen a treadmill do before, but essentially it has a little icon on the display. All you do in order to sync up your watch is basically tap your watch to that icon. It automatically connects as long as your Bluetooth is set to on, and it makes it really easy to track your workout metrics on your treadmill, on your Apple Watch, or on your Galaxy Watch that way. Another thing that Bowflex does in general, and it is no different with this treadmill, is you can go ahead and follow along with classes from Zwift or Peloton as long as you have a subscription to those programmings. I think that is a fantastic idea because I love the Peloton programming. I actually really like the Zwift programming, but I don't want to pay out the price for a Peloton tread, even though it is a fantastic option. Like, the Peloton tread is just so much more expensive. Whereas if you go ahead, you follow along with that Peloton programming, you can go ahead and connect it, follow along with those classes with your treadmill, and the treadmill, again, is about half the cost of what you're going to see with the Peloton. There are a lot of good features that come with this T16. You have the ability to go ahead and change either your incline or your speed, either on the display or using their quick dial functions. These quick dial functions are very similar to what you see on the Bowflex T6 or even something like the Horizon 7.0. There's something that I really, really like on a treadmill because it makes changing the incline and the speed incredibly easy. But not only that, sometimes whenever companies try and do like a quick dial function, there's a lag in the response from the quick dial to what your treadmill actually does. There is essentially zero lag. Like, the minute you flip the switch, the minute you flip that quick dial, your treadmill automatically picks up in speed or automatically moves in incline. And then speaking of incline and speaking of speed, a lot of the times when you get to higher speeds on a treadmill, it becomes incredibly noisy. Or when you move that incline from like 0 to the 15% that this one offers, it becomes very loud. There is essentially no noise on the incline when it is moving. And then there's only a slight noise when you go to that higher 12 mile per hour speed on this treadmill. All in all, this is a super sturdy, durable, and then quiet treadmill. The motor size on this is a 3.5 HP motor. This is fantastic for those who are wanting to do longer distances, or they're wanting to do any sort of interval training or even sprint style training. Not only that, but with that 3.5 HP motor size, you are going to have a naturally higher weight capacity. So this treadmill actually has a 375-pound weight capacity, which is 75 pounds more than what the industry standard is for a weight capacity on a treadmill. The belt deck is incredibly comfortable. It actually measures 22 inches wide by 60 inches in length, just giving you a little bit more room to run. In terms of how it feels, it does offer some cushioning. Now, is it the most cushioned deck? Is it something like a Nordic Track 2450 or a Nordic Track 1750? Like, definitely not. I think if you are looking for a high quality cushioned deck, I would definitely point you in that direction. However, this was incredibly easy to run on. It did offer some cushioning. It did offer a ton of stability, and I really don't have any complaints. When we look at something like a Soul F63 or even like a Pro Form option, those decks are a lot firmer. This is kind of a middle ground between what you find with like a Nordic Track 1750 and then like a Soul F63. In terms of the warranty, Bowflex actually offers a lifetime warranty on the frame, as well as 3 years on mechanical parts and then 1 year on labor. It also has built-in Bluetooth speakers. Now, when we tested out the speakers, it wasn't like the best quality speakers I have ever heard. However, the sound was there. Like, it did become pretty loud. However, it just wasn't as like crystal clear as something like when we test out saunas with a JBL speaker, or when we test out products from like Nordic Track with like this very clear sound. I would say, again, not the best sound system, however, definitely not the worst. I would actually opt to use this if I wanted to, whereas a lot of the times I will say like, hey, just pop in your AirPods because it's going to be better than the sound coming out of those speakers. That's not necessarily the case with this one. The measurements on this treadmill are 77.2 inches in length, 37 inches wide, and then 67 inches high. And when you stow it up with the deck upright, the dimensions are 48.6 inches in length, 37 inches wide, and then 67.6 inches high. The entire treadmill is very easy to move around. It only weighs 293.2 pounds. I know that that seems like a big number, but I promise you it is very lightweight in terms of how it feels. It does come with wheels on the back end that make it incredibly easy to move. And then it also has a hydraulic mechanism on the folding deck. So when you take that deck from the stowed position and you lay it flat, it's a very slow lower. It basically comes with like this step lever that you go ahead, push with your foot, and then it's going to release it or disengage that deck and have a very slow lower. So you aren't going to have to worry about like, if you have little kids, if you have pets running around, that deck like come crashing into the floor. All in all, there's actually not a whole lot of call outs that I do have to this treadmill. Like, this is one that I would be happy to bring home to my own home gym. I would be happy to run on. Again, that lifetime warranty on the frame, offers a good warranty on the motor, labor, mechanical parts, goes up to speeds of 12 miles per hour, incline at 15%, quiet treadmill. All in all, I'm pretty impressed with Bowflex products lately. Like, they've maybe done something, up their game. I'm not sure what it is, but the last two treadmills I have tested from Bowflex, I have been incredibly impressed. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. This has been Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews.